Yo, what's going on guys, it is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video in episode number 18 of my F1 2016 career mode. And as you can see, we are here for the United States Grand Prix, and I can tell you this is going to be my final practice session of the season, as in this will be the last ever time you see practice in my career mode videos, at least for season 1, because this is going to be the last race where we're going to get our upgrades, and after, in the next race in Mexico, we're going to cease R&D. So we're going to try and maximise the amount of points we can get in this session to purchase a couple of big upgrades for the next race in Mexico to push for the World Championship, and after that, like I said, cease development. That's going to be the plan of action. So as you can see, right now we're in Friday practice and we've absolutely smashed all of our targets for the track acclimatisation and also for the tyre wear test, and the exact same thing applied for the qualifying test, smashing in one attempt, and just really getting top of the practice situation now in this Ferrari. And that would move us swiftly on into the story of qualifying, and a very sunny day here in Austin, Texas for the American Grand Prix, and hopefully we can try and get a car nicely up the grid and try and get good start position here, because obviously we've sort of struggled in qualifying with this Ferrari, and initial impression so far pretty good as we get through Q1 quite comfortably there, and way down actually in PA, but quite comfortably nonetheless. And just, you know, holding a bit of pace back for later on in the session when we really need to try and extract the most out of the car. Now, moving later on in the session, moving on to Q2, as you see, coming across the line now, we're going to set another lap to push us up into P4, but we're still 7/10 off the pace, so not on the pace as I'd like to be, but nevertheless it's still giving us a pretty decent position, and we get through Q2 in a solid P5, which is going to push us quite nicely into Q3, the final part of qualifying. And I've got to say, my lap in Q2 was actually really good. I was quite pleased with how the lap turned out. I hooked up the entire lap. As we come across the line, we narrowly miss out on Max Verstappen by 0.02 of a second. We set the fastest final sector, and eventually, as you see there, the gap across the line, Verstappen would improve a little bit more, and is literally half a tenth. That's how much it was. So fair play to Verstappen getting his Red Bull on pole position, but overall a pretty solid qualifying session for us, and one that I was much needing, because I couldn't really get the one lap pace out of the Ferrari, but finally it's the first time that the car and the track sort of clicked. But nevertheless, we're going to move into the race now, and hopefully we can try and get a solid result and fall up from that brilliant qualifying position. So without further ado, let's jump into the race. Okay, so here we go then. It is race day here at the Circuit of the Americas, and one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, and a lot of that is down to their Twitter account, which is absolutely brilliant. But as you can see, we are here, and it's actually raining for the race, and we're going to be starting on the intermediate tyres, as you can see on screen right now. Now, if you look at the weather, it's meant to dry out towards the end of the race, and it doesn't look like the rain's going to be here for a long time. So I'm just going to stretch it out on these intermediates and then wait for the time to switch over to the dry tyres, and hopefully we can make a strategy work. And I've got several. I'm really curious about what the Red Bull's pace is going to be, because they've been absolutely rapid since they've put on the upgrades all weekend. So I think it's going to be a bit of a fierce battle, and obviously we can't forget about Mr. Lewis Hamilton, who's starting right behind us. So we're going to jump right into the race, and let's see if we can try and extend our championship lead. Right, here we go then. The 5 red lights are coming on for the United States Grand Prix. Here we go, 5 red lights, and we're underway. And I've had a pretty slow reaction, and Hamilton alongside me has had an absolute storm. And look at that, he's already pulled alongside me. An incredible start from Hamilton. I just saw him shoot off in my mirrors, and there's been a yellow flag waiting behind as we make our way into turn 1 for the first time. Can't get past Ricciardo because it's a yellow flag, so I need Ricciardo to get back past me. And we're now green flag conditions, and we can try and get back past Ricciardo. And we've got a virtual safety car, so it's gone absolutely hectic here on the first lap in Cota, but we've lost a few positions, and it's been a pretty poor start here in the intermediate conditions. Okay, virtual safety car's ended. We've got the green flag, getting a great restart here, just timed it to absolute perfection. And here we go then, it's going to be a drag race between myself and Daniel Ricciardo into the braking zone. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen to make it 3 wide already on the first lap of the race into the braking zone of turn 10, I believe, or turn 12, and we slow it down just about, but we've got the back end all over the place here. Ricciardo and Raikkonen already starting to fight us, but we've got P3 so far, and that was a hectic sequence of events there already. Oh, Gutierrez is out of the race. We set the fastest lap of the race, just starting to settle into it a little bit now, trying to find some pace here, and so far some pretty good rhythm, and we're just starting to slowly catch Hamilton and Verstappen. And initial impressions are the Red Bulls aren't that quick in these conditions, and it's actually the Mercedes who are coming alive. Rosberg, also just behind Raikkonen, has really got the hammer down, and Hamilton, as you can see, is catching up Verstappen, so it's actually, I think, an advantage Mercedes, I would say, in these conditions. Yeah, another fastest lap, and it just seems like this little pack of cars, I feel like we're all going to sort of bunch up once we start battling, so it's going to be a pretty tasty scrap, I feel. Yeah, another fastest lap. I've had a pretty good exit out the final corner. I'm a little bit too far. Actually, no, I might be able to go for this, actually. If I just get on the brakes nice and late, going to take the alternate inside line. I'm going to stick my nose in. Hamilton backs out of it, gives me the room. And there we go, a fairly easy move into P2 past my championship rival. Here comes Lewis, he's so quick. Look at the Mercedes power unit, still as strong as ever. And Lewis gets me, and I'm actually going to just let him have that. I'll try and get him later on, maybe into turn 1 possibly. And also Ricardo's looking lively behind us as I get a massive tank slapper. Here we go, same thing again, out the final corner. Like I said, we've got a great run on Hamilton. I'm just going to pull to the inside, and this should be a fairly simple move up the inside of turn 1. I do lock up a little bit, but we are going to just about get the apex, and there we go, back up into P2, and we can now try and chase after Verstappen. However, the track, as you can see, visibly is starting to dry out, so we've got to try and keep an eye out for the switchover to dry tyres. A little bit of a sit rep. At the moment, this crossover period is right on a knife edge for intermediates and dries. The inters feel absolutely horrible, but I know that if I've gone the dries, the track's too wet. Meanwhile, we are slowly catching Verstappen, and Ricciardo is showing some pretty damn good pace. He's got past Hamilton, and he's pulling away from him, so it seems like as we edge towards the dry conditions, the Red Bulls are coming alive here at Kota.
Information on Hamilton. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Oh wow, Hamilton's got a problem with his car. So that is a game changer for the World Championship. So Hamilton, a possible problem with his car, and similar to the real life scenario where obviously in Malaysia he had his engine blow up. He's had another problem now. We've only a couple of races left to go this season, so that could pretty much write off Hamilton for the World Championship and put the writing on the wall for him this season. And that means I might have one hand on the World Drivers' Championship. But let's just focus on the task in hand now, as we're actually starting to get well within a second of Max Verstappen here. Right, so we're putting in this lap for a set of medium tyres. I've decided to cave in. We're going to bite the bullet, go into a set of dry tyres. Meanwhile, DRS has just been enabled, as you've seen. And we're now going to try and make a move on Max Verstappen into this tricky little braking zone after the straight. In these conditions, it's so hard. As you can see, I'm running deep. Verstappen's going to switch back on me, but he doesn't get it done. And we take the lead of the race. And now it's a question of just nursing the car back to the pits, because the track is in such a bad state right now. And so are these tyres. We need to go onto some dryers and just hope for the track to dry out, because these literally switchover conditions are just horrible to drive on. Okay, here we go then, into the pit lane. I think Verstappen will follow me in, and yes he does. Just going to take it nice and easy here, make sure that we don't do anything wrong, don't speed. We're going to slow it down, make sure we hit the marks. There we go, nice easy pit entry, because we are the lead car, so there's no need for us to push. Meanwhile, I think Ricciardo's also coming in, so Red Bull might stack and Ricciardo might lose a little bit of time. A 1.9 pit stop, that's exactly what I needed, and that's going to be absolutely perfect for us to stay ahead of Verstappen. Now it's a question of did anybody else go out onto the dry tyres? It doesn't look like it, so we're going to rejoin, presumably in a net race lead. There we go, Ricciardo peels off on those intermediates into the pit lane to go presumably onto a set of dry tyres. Meanwhile, Verstappen's looking very racy on those tyres, and it looks like he might be trying to size me up for a move. I think he's a bit too far back to make anything work into turn 1, so it should be okay for now, but we need to try and pull up a bit of a gap before the big, huge back straight. I got some great traction out there, but now Verstappen's opened up the DRS, and here he comes. He's very rapid. I'm just going to go defensive a little bit and just leave him the room. I'm going to go back up the inside, hold my inside line. Verstappen's still there, just leaving him in the room. He's going to make the move for the lead. I'm going to switch back on him now. Can I go up the inside here? Come on, let's try and make this work. Side by side through the twistest part of the track here. Great battling with the young Dutchman. I'm going to switch back underneath him again as he runs in very wide for the lead of the race. What a battle this is. We hold on to P1 for now, but this battle I can already tell is going to be a fierce battle to try and take the lead of the race. Fastest lap, but it doesn't really mean anything in these conditions, because obviously the times are basically tumbling, but we've got enough of a gap for Verstappen to not make a move on us. Okay, here comes Max again with DRS wide open. I can't really do anything. I'm just going to force him to the inside and just make it as hard as I can for him. He's got DRS wide open. He's actually holding the inside line here, so maybe I can try and make something work. If I get the run through here, try and pick up a bit of a switchback line, and no, we can't. Verstappen takes the lead of the race, and I can't respond. So at the moment, I'm struggling on his medium tyres. If I could just stay with him and do what we did to Lewis Hamilton and pass him on the pitch straight into turn 1 with some DRS, and that'd be great. Right, here we go then, DRS wide open on Verstappen. We've actually just basically kept with him with the DRS assistance, and we're now actually starting to pick up the pace a little bit. The Red Bulls are very quick in these conditions, I've got to say. As I say that, Ricciardo's making a move from Rosberg, so justifying my point that the Red Bulls, for some reason, the upgrades that they've brought this weekend, it's made them overpowered as hell, so they're so quick around here, and it's hard to keep pace. As you can see, Verstappen through the slow corners is so much faster than me. I've got some very low wings this race, but even still, the Red Bulls are just really quick around here.
Right, some information on Hamilton. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Wow, so Hamilton's got yet another problem. So this race is going from bad to worse for Lewis. So really not a race for him that he's going to want to remember anytime soon. But I just want to talk a little bit about my strategy now. The mediums aren't going off too much, but the pace isn't exactly incredible. And because Hamilton's so far down the order and he's my rival basically, I'm actually going to pit in a couple laps time and just go to a set of super softs and just try and push on those, because I'm only gonna go backwards on these tyres because Ricciardo and Rosberg are going faster than me anyway. So I might as well come in for a set of super softs and also pretty much beat Hamilton in the driver rivalry, because we're very nip and tuck, you know, we're very close towards the 30-point mark, and I want to try and beat him in the driver rivalry. So if we can just strap on a set of super softs, smash all the sector times in the fastest laps, and then maybe try and do something with that speed, and that'd be probably the best scenario. So I think that's going to be the plan of action for the rest of the race. Oh, we've got another virtual safety car, so that's because of Sergio Perez, who's just retired from the race. So a second virtual safety car off the Grand Prix. Just make sure we got to slow down here, make sure we match the Delta. There we go. And yeah, I think I'm going to put in this up for super soft, so that's going to be the plan of action. So the next cut is probably going to be a pit stop, so let's jump right into it. Right, here we go then, into the pit lane for the final time this race, into going on to, a set of super softs. Let's just make sure we hit our marks nicely there. Now, I know that AI are going to stay out for the rest of the race, that's absolutely obvious, but their tyres are going to be pretty damn worn by the end, so I think this is the best strategy. We'll be nice and racy towards the end and have a nice bit of pace. So overall, yet again, another brilliant pit stop from the Ferrari boys, a 2-second flat, so I can't complain in the pit stop department. Kimi's, I think, just about going to get past us, but we should be able to get past him fairly quickly, and we can go after then Rosberg and Ricciardo. The speed and grip I've got on these tyres is absolutely unbelievable. We're an absolute rocket ship at the moment, and here we go. We're going to fly past Kimi Räikkönen like an absolute piece of cake, and there we go, up into P4, and we can now try and set some purple laps, and I can't believe he's done this. Räikkönen, mate, what have you just done? I can't believe he's done that. Okay, so maybe not then. So maybe if we're lucky we'll get past Räikkönen again, but that's completely thrown out the window. So cheers, Räikkönen. Incredible lap time there, a 39.4, miles faster than anybody else, but we need to catch Räikkönen a little bit faster than this. There we go, yet another decent lap, and we're now really starting to catch Räikkönen, 1.5 seconds a lap. We should be able to get him towards the end of this lap, I think. Oh my god. No. Oh, I thought I was absolutely fine to go up the inside here. I'm on full lock, and then NASA just decides to basically not give me the room. You can see me coming in his mirrors, but he's like, you know what, screw you. Wow. Wow. It's game over. Wow, what a race that was. That was such a shame. That race had so much potential. And as you can see, the culmination of it is a Red Bull 1-2. And to be fair to Red Bull, they've been stupidly fast all week. They bought like 3 upgrades. And I think these are the last upgrades because they obviously haven't ceased development. Whereas Mercedes, I think, have ceased development quite a while ago. Now, that is a huge boost for Red Bull. However, I can tell you I'm going to do one more upgrade, one more huge upgrade. I've been saving up my resource points. We've got one more massive upgrade for the next race in Mexico, and then we're going to cease development because I don't want Ferrari to be too far down the order next season when we move teams. Now, as you can see, Lewis Hamilton managed to finish in P6, so that's not too bad. So he's only going to gain 8 points on us, so I think the gap's going to go down to 25 points. So that's not too bad. I thought it would have been a lot worse than that, so that's okay. And we still have a healthy lead in the championship, but obviously that is a lot of points we've lost that race. And as you can see, we're our first retirement of the season. I just can't believe it. It's such a shame, and such a silly incident as well. But as you can see, looking at the World Drivers' Championship, we're 29 points clear of Hamilton, so a little bit more than what I thought there. So we've got a nice healthy lead over Hamilton still, and that DNF won't do us too much damage. Obviously, Hamilton will be ruining the fact that his car had problems all race because he was in second at one point. So if he'd got maybe 18 points instead of 8, then he would have obviously been 19 points behind and much closer to us. But we've got 4 more races to go after this, and that's things stand. We've got a healthy lead. The constructors is pretty much done, I think. I don't think we're going to get Mercedes. I'm going to try and put up the massive upgrade that we've got ready for the next race in Mexico and see if that hopefully maybe helps Räikkönen get further up the order. But Red Bull this race has been the standout for me, how OP and fast they've been all weekend. But either way, we're going to move into the final part of the video. So there we have it then, that was the United States Grand Prix, and as you can see straight after the race we jumped onto the laptop and put on 2 brand new upgrades, which are the reduced chassis weight and also the downforce upgrade, and those are going to be the final 2 upgrades that we apply onto the car for the rest of this season. So it's going to be a straight fight between myself and Lewis Hamilton for the remaining 3 races of the season, and so far things are looking pretty tasty. So hopefully we can try and wrap up the Drivers' Championship and also try and push for the Constructors, even though the Constructors is looking a bit more unlikely than the Drivers at the moment. But nevertheless, if you guys did enjoy the video, then a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to put in a lot of effort to try and finish off this career mode season 1. I'm going to bang out the rest of the series by the end of next week, and in the Brazil video, guys, keep an eye out for that, because obviously there will be the team choice in there for you guys to go and vote. So keep an eye out for that video later on in next week at some point. But nevertheless, hope you did enjoy the video, and if you did, like I said, leave a thumbs up, and if you're new around here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel as I'm pushing towards 5,000 subscribers. And yeah guys, that's about it for this video, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. So thanks a lot for watching, and goodbye.